It plays music. That part's pretty easy to understand. But it's a Guinness World Record holder because this is the most powerful of this kind in existence. This will produce up to about 200,000 volts of electricity. And we'll get to show you that here in just a second. Now, we've got all these signs and things to let people know. Let me double check, make sure our doors are shut and closed so that nobody walks in the middle of our Tesla show. This is just for you guys today. All right. Now, what do you say we fire this thing up and see what it can do? I think that's a great idea. I'm going to put my ear protection on, and we're going to get ready to fire up our Tesla coil. I know what you're thinking. That was not that impressive. Well, we're just getting started. I want to see if you guys can tell each other around you, what did you see when you were looking at our Tesla coil? You might have seen some things coming out of the end of those rods. Well, what you're seeing is little itty bitty lightning that's being generated and created by our Tesla coil. Now, knowing that what you're seeing is lightning, tell your friend next to you, what do you think it is that you're hearing? That sound, that buzz, where is that coming from when our Tesla coil's running? Well, whenever there's lightning, there is thunder, of course, the sound that accompanies lightning. Now, I'm going to explain to you why and how that happens. So we run about 220 volts of electricity into our Tesla coil. That goes through all these capacitors, some power conditioners down underneath, and into this big black cable right here in the center. That is the primary coil. Now, it's a great big thick copper wire that electrical current flows around and around and around in circles. As it does that, it generates an electromagnetic field in the air around it. There's excited electrons dancing around in the air. We can't see them, but they're there. Now, those electrons interact with the copper wire inside of this great big red cylinder right there in the center. That is the secondary coil. Wrapped around there is a copper wire that's about the thickness of a human hair. If you took that copper wire off and straightened it out, it would be a mile-long piece of wire. Now, when the electrons interact with the copper in that wire, it induces or creates a new current. That current pulses and flows towards the end until that voltage gets high enough that it goes up the pole, out the lightning rod, and wants to shoot out across to the other side. Now, problem being, what's in the middle between our two lightning rods? Just air, right? And air is not a very good conductor of electricity. So as that current comes out of that lightning rod, it superheats the gases in the air. Have you guys talked about solids, liquids, and gases, the different states of matter? Well, there's one more above that that's called plasma. So it takes the gases in the air, it changes them into plasma, which is a good conductor of electricity, lets that current flow through, and we can see it and go, oh, look, lightning. Now, when it happens, it gets very hot and it happens very quickly. You have this rapid expansion of heat in the air, and it goes poof, kind of like an explosion. Okay. So what you're hearing, that buzz, is those really, really fast, rapid explosions of the gases heating in the air. Now, I can control how quickly that happens. It's called changing the frequency of how fast we're sending our lightning through. If you want to look here at our controls, this says 220 hertz. That means that every second there's 220 lightning bolts coming out of our Tesla coil. Now, I'm not going to turn this up super loud, but we'll take it down to, oh, let's go about 40%. That way, maybe you can still hear me. That is what 220 hertz sounds like. It's approximately about the same as the note of A if you're at all musically inclined. Now, I'm going to change that frequency and listen to what that does to the sound of our lightning. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Mary Had a Little Lamb as played by lightning. It will be available on iTunes immediately following the show. Now, obviously, I can only do so much manually with the controls and how quickly I change the frequency. But this is an amazing machine, and we've got it hooked up to a little computer over here that can change those frequencies a lot quicker. So we're going to use that to play an actual song for you. All right? Get ready. was really, really cool. Music played by lightning. Isn't that fantastic? Now, some of you may have recognized that first song. That was the theme to the Addams Family. Now, do you think that the person who invented this machine did so that someday here at the Museum of Discovery we'd be able to listen to the Addams Family played by music? Don't think that's probably exactly what he had in mind, but I would love to have an opportunity to ask him what he thinks of what we've done with his technology. Back in 1856, Nikola Tesla was born. Born in a country at that time was Serbia, is now modern day Croatia. But he became fascinated with lightning and electricity, specifically a system of electricity known as AC, or alternating current. Now, that means that in the circuit, the electricity goes one direction and then it'll switch and go back the other. It's very, very efficient, back and forth, back and forth. The problem was, at that time, no one had been able to find a way to get alternating current electricity to work with the machines and the motors that they needed to drive industry. So everyone was using a system that was called DC, or direct current electricity. In a circuit, that electricity would only go one direction. They really couldn't control just how powerful it was, and sometimes things would just burst into flames. But it was the only thing that worked. Now, Tesla knew there had to be some way to get alternating current to work. And if there was anyone in the world who could help him do it, it was a scientist here in the United States by the name of Thomas Edison. Now, Edison, you probably have heard of. He is most famous for the work that he did on the light bulb. But you see, he had invested everything he had into direct current electricity and the systems and equipment it took to make that run. So when Tesla came over and said, "Hey, excuse me, Mr. Edison, hello, could you help me figure out how to get alternating current to work?" Edison didn't really want to. So he said, "I tell you what, Mr. Tesla, help me work on the light bulb. Help me work on these DC generators. That would be a great thing." Well, in his spare time, Tesla kept working on the idea of getting alternating current to work. And one day, he came up with a design. He made a drawing or a schematic and built the very first induction motor that would run on alternating current. He was so excited, he went back to his buddy Edison and he says, "Hey, I figured it out. I've solved the problem. Alternating current's going to work. It's going to be more efficient. It's going to be safer. People are going to love it." And Edison himself, being a scientist, of course, would say, "Well, congratulations. High five, Mr. Tesla. Well done." But he didn't. He looked right at Mr. Tesla and he said, "Get out." No, 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 not you. I'm sorry. That's what he told to Tesla. And that was the end of their working relationship. But Tesla kept working on his design and improving on his motor. And one day, he was standing in his lab holding one of these. That's right, an absolutely bona fide real lightsaber. Certainly not a light bulb that we painted to look like a light. Okay, it's just a light bulb. This is exactly what Tesla would have had: a glass tube filled with gas that when you send electrical current through it, that gas gets excited, it dances around, it lights up and glows. Now, we've painted ours to look like a lightsaber because, well, we're nerds and we like Star Wars. But we know that Tesla's was not painted to look like a lightsaber. And the reason we know that, prepare yourselves. When Nikola Tesla was alive, Star Wars did not exist. I know. It was a period in time known as the Dark Ages. Look it up. Very bad. But he had that light bulb in his hand one day, and he got it close to his machine while it was running. And a very strange thing happened. He claimed that that light bulb, without any connections, no wires, no batteries, no way for it to get power, he claimed that that light bulb lit up while he held it in his hand. And he realized if he could take that, figure out what caused it, and build it on a grander scale, he would be able to give everyone in the world free, wireless electricity. That was his goal. Well, electricity is not free. It's certainly not wireless. We have to plug things in, and there's electrical wires all over outside. But can you imagine if your if your light just came on and didn't have to be plugged in? That was Tesla's dream. Now, the fact that we don't have that, do you think it's because Tesla was wrong? Do you think it's because the technology didn't work? Well, let's listen to another song and find out. So, what did we see? Did the light bulb light up? Yes, absolutely, it did. Tesla was right. It was totally possible to broadcast electricity without wires through the air. Now, if you are close to this machine, our light bulb lights up. The further I get away from it, the less the light bulb's up, and eventually it won't light up at all. This Tesla coil only generates a field that's about 8 feet in diameter that's strong enough to light my light bulb. If I wanted to light this at the back of our theater or the other end of the museum or a mile away, I'd have to have a much larger Tesla coil. Now, Tesla built one. He went up above Colorado Springs, up on top of a hill, built a great big Tesla coil that would light light bulbs 20 miles away. The problem was it shot 30-foot long bolts of lightning. And anytime you wanted to have your electricity running, it would have to be going and there would be lightning shooting all over the place. It'd be like a giant bug zapper on a hill. Now, it wasn't practical technology. You can hear how loud this one is. And if it was even larger and shot even bigger lightning, it would be even louder. So you'd be trying to watch television or play your Xbox or trying to hang out with your friends, and it would be lightning and thunder all over the place. Okay. In his pursuit of this, Tesla did give us a lot of things that we still use today. Have you ever listened to the radio? Thank you, Nikola Tesla. His discoveries and the technologies that he built and developed, that is what led us to the ability to broadcast to send and receive radio signals, be able to listen to the radio and to talk on radios and communicate over distances. How about cell phones? Anybody use a cell phone or cellular data, Wi-Fi, remote control toys, cars, remotes for your television? If you have a wireless controller for an Xbox or a PlayStation gaming system, all of these things that send and receive information without wires and no connections, it's all derived from Tesla's technology. Now, you might have noticed Mr. Thomas showed you our sign that was lighting up during the show as well. Here is the plug. It's not plugged into anything. Tesla would put different types of gases into his glass tube to see how they would interact with his machine. And that's how he discovered that at different frequencies, neon gas will light up and change colors. He also accidentally discovered X-rays. Has anybody ever broken a bone or had to get an X-ray? Tesla put some gas inside of one of his tubes and handed it to his good buddy Mark Twain. He said, "Hey, Mark, hold this." And he held the tube and they turned on the Tesla coil and took an X-ray of Mark Twain's skeleton. Now, at the time, they didn't realize that X-rays were radiation and not really a good party trick, but they didn't know any better, and it looked really cool. So he discovered a lot of things in the pursuit of this. And we're going to listen to another song, and we're going to get out some more light bulbs so you can see how those light up. And notice that you're only going to see this light up when the Tesla coil is producing electricity, okay? So anytime the Tesla coil comes on, the light will come on, and it goes off, the light will go off, okay? So we're going to play another song. We'll let you look at that, and then we'll have some time for you guys to ask some questions about the Tesla coil and what you've seen here today. All right, here we go. All right. Well, there you go. You can see, like I said, every time that Tesla coil would fire that electricity across, our light would light up. It was blinking along with the beat of the music. That's pretty cool. Electricity sent through the air without wires to light things up. What an idea for someone to have over 100 years ago. Just incredible. Hope you guys have enjoyed our Tesla presentation. Like I said, we are going to have some time for you to ask some questions. You may have seen some interesting things I'll touch on just real quick. You noticed, maybe, that when our light bulb was lighting up, I would touch it in different places, and then only half of it would light up. Well, what's happening there is I'm using my body to help create the circuit to allow this light bulb to light up. So the electrons interact with the gas inside, and then that current flows up my arm, down my body, and into the floor. So if I put my hand here, electricity always takes the quickest path, the path of least resistance to get to the ground. So when I put my hand here, now the electricity is going here, flowing up this arm, going down into the ground. So this part of the light bulb wouldn't light up. So there's really some interesting, cool things that we can do with this. But we're going to have Mr. Thomas help facilitate some questions. If you guys want to go ahead and unmute your microphone, if you've got a question, feel free to ask. And like he said, we will answer it to the best of our ability.
Let's start off with a big round of applause to Sean. That was excellent. I really, really enjoyed that. That was so amazing. So what questions or comments do you guys have for Sean and I to be able to try and answer for you guys today?
Okay, how does light bulb light up? Electricity. How does the light bulb light up?
So the light bulb lights up. Inside of that light bulb, there's a gas. And remember when we talked about how this creates the electromagnetic field of all these electrons floating in the air around it? Well, those electrons interact with that gas, and it causes that gas to get excited, and it starts to dance and move around like this. And as it does, it's moving around and bouncing around in there, and all that energy that it's creating illuminates and causes it to light up, and that's what causes that light to be able to do that.
And one thing to note on the light bulb is it took scientists a lot of experimentation to figure out how to get a light bulb to light up efficiently. So we have different kinds of light bulbs now. We have incandescent, we have compact fluorescent light bulbs, and we also have LED or light emitting diode. So different technologies have developed over time to be powered on. And incandescents and fluorescent light bulbs can be lit up. Actually, so can LEDs be lit up from a Tesla coil. So it's the power from the coil energizing those light bulbs. That's a great question. What's our next one?
Very good question.
How long did it take for you to build your Tesla machine?
Ooh, that's a really good one. I'll take that one. So we got this. Let me switch this around so you guys can see me. So we got our coil in 2015, and we were working with Good Child Engineering, and it took them about a year to build the coil. It was between 6 months and a year to build the coil to where it could be produced. Now, one of the interesting things about our coil is that it is a Guinness World Record coil. So that's one of the reasons it took so long for it to be built, was it was designed in a unique way compared to most coils. So most coils are going to stand up like this and have that kind of ring around the top. Ours sticks out sideways. Like if you look at it, ours goes from here to here. Normally they would go like this and like this. So this is a bipolar coil where it shares this right here, this single primary coil. It's going to share that primary coil and distribute power to both ends. So it's bipolar. One's going to be positive, one's going to be negative. And that's a pretty unique design. So it took the engineer, Eric Goodchild, it took him the better part of a year to get this thing built. And if you're interested in the price tag, $50,000.
That's
Now,
right.
Thankfully,
You
we
too
got
can
a
have
grant.
one.
We were able to get a grant from General Electric to help provide it. And Entergy provides us the ability to play this throughout the year. So they not only provide us power, but they also provide us some sponsorship to be able to keep this thing up and running. So great question, Sean. You had something to add?
Oh, I just saying yes. For only $50,000, you could have one of these.
Well,
that'd
and
be
I will
fantastic.
say, Eric, he raised his prices as soon as he was done with our coil. So this now would be closer to $1 million. So
Woo!
he bumped it up to a few 100,000, and then he said he wasn't going to make them unless it was some big dollars. So we're very fortunate to have it. Excellent question. What do we have next?
Hold on, we're trying to get a good question.
Sure, yeah, no worries. We've got some time. And comments are welcome too. So, other than the Tesla coil frying my phone halfway through and preventing, like this, you may have noticed this phone kind of just went out on us during one of the songs. I got it a little too close to the coil, and the coil's power interfered with the phone and caused it to shut off.
Ooh.
So that was a fun little surprise in the middle of the program. And then, other than our phone falling off of the stand during the middle of the program, that also was a little unfortunate. But other than that, those two things, what did y'all think about our brand new program? Do y'all have any thoughts on what shots looked the coolest, or did you like that split screen thing that we did with the picture in the picture with like the window kind of at the top corner? Let us know your thoughts too. It doesn't have to just be a question.
All right, they all agree that they like the new program.
So can y'all let them know? Can y'all all say yes?
There we go. Good job.
All right.
That's awesome. That's great to hear.
Did y'all enjoy the songs that were played?
Awesome. Good job. That's all the questions and comments we have.
All right. And is that for both of our classrooms, or are we just one classroom right now?
We're one classroom. We all
Perfect.
combined.
All right, yeah, I see two of them on there.
Everybody
Looks like we got the next crew coming at closer to 11 o'clock. So awesome.
Yes.
Well, once again, I'm Thomas. We got Sean back here. We were so happy to be able to provide this to you. We're so thrilled that you guys liked the program. Did Sean have a good selection of songs? I thought they were pretty sweet. I was snapping along to Adam's Family over here. You couldn't hear. I had my mic off. So I thought that was pretty sweet. Hope you guys enjoyed the blast of lightning and the sound of sweet musical thunder. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time.
Everybody say thank you. Say
Bye, y'all. Have a great day.
Thank y'all.